Sometimes you're not overwhelmed because there's too much to do. You're overwhelmed because there's this one thing you need to do, but you're doing 36 other things instead. Welcome back to Streamline Shine, and today I want to talk to you about something I've seen a lot of my clients do, and that is saying you're busy, being busy, keeping busy, because you're avoiding making a decision. Now, that decision could be hiring a person, letting go of a client, it could be changing your offer, could be putting your prices up, investing in support, having an awkward conversation, admitting something isn't working that you thought would be spot on. So instead of facing up to this one decision that you feel is hanging over you, you keep yourself busy with 1,000 different things so you can tell yourself you don't have time to deal with that yet. Now, depending on what the thing is that you're avoiding, could be down to a number of different reasons, and a couple of them could be procrastination disguised as productivity or decision fatigue. And you might think that being productive is still keeping your business ticking over nicely, which it very well could be. But what is the cost of not making this decision that you're pushing to the back of that list every day? How much more money would you bring in if you raised your prices? How much more time would you gain back by getting some support? How much clarity would you get from hiring a coach? How much easier would it be to talk about the offer once you've changed it? So ultimately, by circling around this decision you're refusing to make, you're holding your business back, you're holding your success back, you're holding yourself back. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, I do that, buckle up, because it might be a hard listen, but it's something that absolutely needs to be said. Now, one of the most common ways I see this showing up is when I'm on a discovery call or chatting to someone in my DMs and they say, once I've got everything in place, I'll get back in touch to get you to support me. Now, if that isn't an obvious way of saying you're putting off investing in support, I don't know what is. And when you bring us on board in your business, you don't need to have all your ducks in a row for us to be able to do what we need to do. You need to give us some access to platforms we'll be using. We'll have a kick-off call to discuss everything and put a plan in place in more detail for the month. That's it. You don't need to have the most organised Google Drive. You don't need to have everything ready in Canva. You don't need to feel like you've got your shit together for us to help you get your shit together. So, in fact, I'd go as far as saying that if you're waiting until everything is sorted before you get support, you completely miss the point of getting support in the first place. Because what exactly are you waiting for? For your workload to magically calm down? Not going to happen. For you to suddenly find 3 spare hours on a Tuesday to sort your Google Drive out? Not going to happen. For the admin to disappear? Not going to happen. For your marketing to become consistent on its own, for your systems to start miraculously talking to each other. Because chances are the reason you're considering support in the first place is because you don't have the time, headspace, or capacity to sort all of that out yourself. And yet you're making sorting all of that yourself a condition of getting the help you need. Can you see how backwards that is? So it's like deciding you need a cleaner and then cleaning the house before they turn up. What the fuck? And investing in support is only one example. So maybe the decision you've been avoiding is putting your prices up. You've known for months that you're undercharging. You're booked up. Your costs have increased. Your experience has grown, and you know your work is worth more. But instead of changing the bloody number, you're creating another offer. You're tweaking your website. You're making a new Canva graphic. You're researching what everybody else charges, doing another spreadsheet. You're busy, but none of that is solving the actual problem. Maybe it's a client you need to let go of. You dread seeing their name pop up on your phone. Their work takes twice as long as it should. They're constantly pushing boundaries. You're resentful every time you have to do work for them. But having the conversation feels uncomfortable, so you just keep going. And every month you delay that decision, you're giving time and energy to something you already know isn't right. And that's the bit I really want you to pay attention to, because avoiding a decision doesn't mean you avoid the consequences of that decision. You're still paying for it. You're just paying for it in a different way. You're paying with your time, your energy, your headspace, your money, your capacity, maybe even your confidence. And that's why being busy can be so deceptive, because busy feels productive. You can get to the end of the day and think, fucking hell, I've done loads today. Maybe you have, but did you do the thing that actually moves your business forward? Because there's a massive difference between doing lots of things and doing the right thing. And sometimes the most productive thing you can do in your business is make one uncomfortable decision. Send the email, have a conversation, change the price, shut the offer down, hire the coach, get the support, whatever your version of it is, because once you've made the decision, look at what happens. All of that mental energy you've been wasting, thinking about it, becomes available again. You stop waking up thinking about it. You stop adding it to next week's to-do list. You stop having the same internal argument with yourself every 3 days. Because you've made the decision, now you can move. And I think this is where we need to talk about decision fatigue too. Because when you're running a business and you're making decisions about absolutely everything, it's no wonder that big decisions feel harder. What are we posting about today? Did that invoice go out? What am I doing about that client? What should I put in this email? What platform are we using for that? Did I reply to that message? When am I going to sort the website out? What did I say I was cooking for dinner? Am I going to have time to get to the gym? So by the time you get to the decision that really matters, your brain's already clocked off. And this is another reason that I'm such a huge advocate for having proper support around you. Not simply because somebody else can tick things off your list, but because good support removes decisions from your day. So at Bolton Virtual Solutions, that is a massive part of what we do. Whether you need headspace for the admin that's constantly taking up brain space, momentum to keep your marketing moving, visible to take the day-to-day pressure of social media off your hands, or seamless to sort out the tech and systems you've been putting off dealing with. The point is, it's just that somebody else is doing some work. The point is that you don't have to keep thinking about it. There's ownership there. There's a plan. There's someone else making sure it moves. And that gives you more capacity to make the decisions that actually need you. Because there are things in your business, in everyone's business, that only the founder can decide. I can't decide as your VA what you want your business to look like in 3 years, or which clients you want to work with, or what success looks like for you. But what I can do is make sure you're not using half your brain space trying to remember what you've scheduled for Thursday's Instagram post while you're attempting to make these big decisions. And that is the difference. So I want to leave you with something to do after this episode. Thinking about the thing you've been avoiding, and chances are you already know what it is. In fact, I reckon it's probably popped into your head about 5 minutes ago. I don't want you to make another list about it. I don't want you to research it again. We don't want you to create another colour-coded fucking spreadsheet. Ask yourself, what decision am I avoiding? And then, what is it costing me every week that I don't make this decision? Because there will be a cost involved. Even doing nothing is a decision. And sometimes staying exactly where you are feels like the safer option because nothing changes immediately. But 6 months from now, that's 6 more months of undercharging, 6 more months of carrying everything yourself, 6 more months with the wrong client, 6 more months pushing an offer you don't fully believe in, 6 more months thinking about something you already know the answer to. And do you know what? Fuck that. Your business doesn't need you to make every decision perfectly. It needs you to just make the decision though. So if you spent this episode thinking, I'm talking about you, I will need to do something about it. Make the decision. And if the decision you've been avoiding is finally getting some support in your business because you think you need to sort everything out, make it all pretty and nice and, just nice and aesthetic, before you come to us, consider this me officially telling you that you absolutely don't. Just come as you are with your messy Google Drive, your half-finished Canva templates, the system you bodged together 3 years ago that somehow still works as long as nobody touches it, and we'll figure the rest out together. So you can find out more about Headspace, Momentum, Seamless and Visible in the show notes, or you can come and have a chat with me and we'll work out what support makes more sense for you. So the long and short of this is, you might not need more time, you might just need to make that decision. That's the end of this week's episode. So until next time, keep streamlining and shining. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Streamline and Shine. If you have questions on what we covered inside, please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Bolton_virtual_solutions, or you can email us at teambolton@boltonvirtualsolutions.co.uk. We absolutely love hearing from our amazing community and are always here to support you. If you'd like to be interviewed on a future episode, please drop us an email letting us know which topic you'd like to speak about and we'll get back to you. See you on the next episode, lovelies.